Well, hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee, and this video is going to be pretty much prepping because we're going to do several freezer meals for the freezer, and I've got a lot of prep work to do before I can even put those together. So I'm just going to bring you along with me, and we're going to prep and cook and get everything all ready so that it's easy to put everything together. But first off, this morning, I just had somebody stop. I've got a big bread order to do. So that's what we're going to do. And I will put, this is my Amish white bread. And I'm going to also put the recipe in the description box because I'm like quadrupling this. So don't pay attention to how much I'm putting in. I will put the recipe for a single batch, which makes 2 loaves for you, in the description box. Okay? So there goes the yeast. And then we're going to feed that yeast with sugar. It's going to seem like a lot because, yes, I'm quadrupling it. But I'm not going to put that much sugar. There's 1 cup of sugar. I'm making 8 loaves at once. I love this mixer. This is a 15-quart bowl. I love the thing. All right, there goes our nice warm water. And we're just gonna let that bloom. And while that's blooming, I'm gonna run and get my flour because I need to add 24 cups of flour to this. Okay, friends, I grabbed my flour. Now, I gotta put where's my oil? There's my oil. I need to add my oil to it. Making bread is so easy, friends. All you really need is water, yeast, salt, and flour. That's it. Anything else is all your add-ins. And it's so easy to make bread. I've heard so many people say it never turns out for me. Just make it real basic and simple. And once you get past that, you can add whatever you want to it. Make it whole wheat, whatever, add cinnamon bread, whole grain breads. You can add anything to it. So we got the oil in there. I don't want to forget my salt. So many times, friends, I forget my salt. And that's not a good thing. Okay? So, I've got the oil in there. I need 24 cups. I need 24 cups of flour. So that's one of these bags and about 5 more cups on top of it. And depending on the weather and the humidity, you might need more. But we're going to dump that right in there because we're making a big batch. Okay? I need a garbage closer to me. Okay. And we're going to do our salt. That's it. That's how simple this is. I'll meet you in my pantry by my mixer. Okay, friends. I've got my my bowl in here hooked up. I gotta get my dough hook in here. Okay, we'll roll this up. I love this machine. We're going to let this go till it incorporates, and that way I'll know if I need more flour or not. Otherwise, if everything's good, I don't need to add flour to it. I'm going to let this knead, once it incorporates, for about 10 minutes. So here we go. It just takes a second for it to all incorporate in there. And then I'll know. Sometimes I have to add a little extra water. Don't worry about that. If you have to do that, that's perfectly fine. And you can already see that it's going to need a little bit of flour. So I'm just going to add a little at a time. Hopefully this won't go all over. There we go. That's looking a little better. You can see that. Okay, that's all I'm going to need. So now I'm just going to let this knead for 10 minutes. And then we'll get this out, divvy it up, and get it ready to rise. Okay, friends, it's heavy. This is all done. And, boy, I did a lot. I had 24 cups of flour in this. Whew. That's a big batch. This will do 8 loaves. Okay, so we need to get it out of here because it's going to have to rise. No little scragglers left behind. All right. We're going to oil up our bowl here because we're going to let it rise in that bowl. All right, this is gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful dough. Can you see that dough? It's just gorgeous. And it's a big old ball of dough. And I'm not kneading it anymore. I'm just forming it into a ball. Okay. Beautiful. Absolutely. Okay. Oh my goodness. We're going to put that in there. And then we're going to flip it over. And that's going to be perfect. I need to wash my hands real quick. Okay. Now with this, I'm going to cover this with this plastic wrap. And then I'm just going to let this rise out on my kitchen table in the sun. And then we'll make this bread. Okay, so with that done, I know that was extra, but I had to do that for an order. We are going to, I've got a list of things that I've got to work on to get everything ready so that we can put our freezer meals together real easy. Okay? We got to cook chicken. I'm also going to do some hard-boiled eggs. I'm going to show you the 5-5-5 method with your Instant Pot. It's fantastic. Easiest thing in the world. We don't have to chop onions or sausage because I had that on my list, but I've got chopped onions in the freezer. Okay? I'm not going to scramble eggs today. Let's see. We are ultimately going to do baked French toast for a couple of our casseroles that we're putting together for the breakfast. And my order of bread, I did a couple extra loaves to accommodate this. So we're going to have fresh bread for our French toast casserole. And then we got to cook macaroni, rice, and rotini for our others. And we can just keep that in the fridge. Everything's prepped, and then we can get busy. So let's get busy with this. Okay, I got a nice large Instant Pot. It's an 8-quart. And this always works nice. But I am going to leave this right here on my counter. And I'm going to do these eggs right up in here. I'll put that in a minute. Okay, I leave this down in here. Now, I'm hopefully going to be able to get 1.5 dozen in here. I should, because it's a nice big Instant Pot. I might even be able to get 2 dozen in there, and I think that's what I'm going to do. All right. Now that you see that in there, beautiful. Now we got to put our water in there. We're going to put 1 cup of water in there. I got a half a cup here, so I got to do it half at a time. And that's it, friends. We're going to put this in our sleeve. We're going to put this lid on here. We're going to do pressure cook, but we're not going to do 30 minutes. Oops, we're going to go down. We're only going to do 5 minutes. And then we're going to let it. And then once this is done, we're going to let it naturally release for 5 minutes. And then we're going to plunge them in cold water for 5 minutes. And that's your 5-5-5 method. All right, friends, this cooked for 5 minutes. It naturally released for 5 minutes. And now, look at those beautiful eggs. They're hot. We're going to put them in this cold water for 5 minutes. And then they'll be ready to do with whatever you want. Oh, that one. Woo! Let me get this over here to me. I had one that broke, but the chickens will have that. Or Mr. Wayna, one of them. These are store-bought eggs. These are not my farm fresh eggs. When I use my farm fresh eggs, I do it a whole different way. So there we go. We are now going to leave those in here for 5 minutes. And I'm going to get this cleaned up for our chicken. Okay, now that we have got the eggs done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our chicken in here. And I'm going to cook my chicken probably a little bit longer because this is still partially froze. So we'll see if I can get this in here. And I can. Okay. We got that. Let me see. I got some more pieces right here that I'm going to put down the edge. Because I want to cook all this chicken if I can. Beautiful. And I got it. Okay, so with this, all I'm going to do is put a little salt and pepper in here. Because this chicken is going to be used for my several different casseroles. And I'm going to season them, you know, as I go. So all I need here is some salt and pepper. And that'll be good. Okay, so this is going to go on. We're going to do pressure cook, and I'm going to do this because it's frozen for about 40 minutes. And that's it. Once this is done cooking in here, I'm going to just let it naturally release. And then we'll get that shredded up, and that will be finished for our casseroles. So this is going really smooth today for us. Okay, friends, now we got to cook our macaroni. And I'm going to make extra macaroni today, not just for the casseroles, but I'm going to make extra macaroni because I'm going to do some macaroni salad for next week as well. And probably for church too, because they love it at church. But, so I'm going to make quite a bit of macaroni. But I need 4 pounds initially. And there's 3 pounds. So perfect. I can put that in there. That's 3 pounds. Perfect.
Hello, friends. I can see y'all.
He had his cataracts done, and he's doing great. Okay. There's our 4 pounds. We're gonna do this first. There's our 4 pounds of pasta, or our 4 pounds of elbow macaroni. And after that, I'm leaving my pasta out because I will make more after that. But once my water gets boiling, I will stick that in there and we'll get this cooked up. And then I've got to cook up rotini and rice. And I'm going to do rice in my Instant Pot after the chicken's done. And then we should be pretty well done with prepping all my stuff. I don't have to chop up onions or peppers because I have those diced out of the freezer. We're not putting any mushrooms into anything. So I might need to prep my mushrooms up just for freezing. So everything's good. Okay, friends, our water is boiling. So first thing we're going to do is season it and turn it down a little bit. This is the only time you're going to be able to season your pasta is when it is cooking. Okay? We got all that going in there, and we got a nice big pan full. We're not going to cook this, because this is going to ultimately be a freezer meal. So we're not going to cook this. We're just going to cook it a hair under al dente. That way, when you put it in the oven, it won't be overdone and grainy. So that's it. We're just going to let that go. I'm going to turn that down just on medium and stir it frequently. And I'll see you when this is all done. Okay, friends. We are ready to put our bread together. Get it in the pans. It's going to have to go through a second rise in the pans. And then we can bake it off. And then 3 of the loaves from this. 5 are for an order. And 3 are going to be for our French toast casserole. Okay? Now, remember, I've got a lot of bread here. Okay? I've got my scale here. Because I sell this bread, I want it to all be the same weight. Otherwise, you could probably just eyeball it, you know, if it's just for your family and you're not too particular. Okay? So, we're going to flatten this out a little bit, or get the air out of it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to weigh this whole ball here at once. It weighs 11 pounds. That's a little too much. Nope, that's good. Now we're going to do it in half here. 3. I do this so much. I can pretty much guess it. Right on the button. I love baking bread, friends. And my customers in my market stand love this bread. Perfect. All right. So that's good. So let me put this aside. Okay, so now these are all the same size. Now I'm just going to shape these into loaves. This isn't going to take much. It doesn't have to be fancy. Here's one. Nope, I want them as smooth as I can get them on top. Okay. There we go. This is so easy, but it is so therapeutic making bread. I love it. Turns out beautiful, no matter what way you make it is gorgeous. Okay. I'm just going to leave these like this because they need to rise up to the top of my bread pans. Okay. Our chicken is done. It just needs to, I can let it out of there. We'll see how the chicken does. Okay, friends. Our chicken is done. And it's beautiful. We're going to get this put in here because then we can, once it cools down, I can go ahead and shred it for our casseroles. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at the broth in there. I'm going to save that too. All right. Now, I'm going to let all this cool down and get it all out of there. And then, once it's cool, I'm going to shred this chicken up. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to make our rice. And you know what, friends? I might make our rice in that chicken broth because that would be wonderful. That would flavor it beautifully. But the last thing we got to do is make our rice. And then we're going to be ready. I do need to bake my bread, and you'll see that. But then we'll be ready to put our casseroles together because everything is prepped, and it will go like a breeze. Okay, friends. I am going to make the rice. And I'm going to do, let's see, 4 cups of rice. Because I'm going to ultimately do 4 cups of broth. And if I have rice left over, that's fine because rice freezes beautifully. And that's what I'll do with it. I'll freeze it. Okay? That's beautiful. I love jasmine rice. You can use any kind of rice you want, but I love jasmine. Now here's the chicken broth. I'm also going to put... I know the chicken broth can contain a little bit of fat, but I'm also going to put just a little bit of olive oil in there. I'm going to put just a pinch of salt because I used the broth from the chicken and that was seasoned good itself. Okay, now there's one of 2 ways you can do this. Let me mix that. You want it all dampened. No big clumps. Okay. You've got a section for rice on your Instant Pot. Let me find it right up here. That's for 12 minutes. I don't do that. I pressure can mine for 3 minutes. And it comes out beautiful every single time. So you'll see when this is done. Okay, friends. Our rice is done. Look at that. Just look. See? 3 minutes. And look how nice and fluffy and beautiful it turns out. Absolutely gorgeous. This is going to be used in our chicken, broccoli, and rice casserole. This stuff is wonderful. Okay, we're going to let this cool down. And then I will bring you back and I will show you what all we got done today, prep-wise. And then our next video is going to be putting these beautiful freezer meals together for your family. Well, okay, friends, we had a very productive day today. Getting ready and prepping all this food for our freezer casseroles and our freezer meals. We've got our bread made. I've got the other 4 in the oven, so it's going to turn out beautiful. We got all the chicken cooked. I showed you how I do that in the Instant Pot, and it's fantastic. And we went ahead and made the rice. I was going to save the broth from the chicken, but you know what? I used it to make the rice in the Instant Pot, and I showed you the easiest way to make rice in an Instant Pot, and it turns out perfect every time. We did eggs. That way we've got a choice whether we want hard-boiled eggs, deviled eggs, or maybe even some egg salad. So I'm just going to leave the eggs like this in the fridge, and we'll be able to utilize them. Off camera, I grated up some fresh Parmesan cheese. Now, you know, we're going to do the chicken Parmesan casserole. And you can use the imitation Parmesan cheese that you get in a container in the store, but I have been spoiled on fresh Parmesan, so I grated up a nice block of that for our casseroles. And we also did our noodles. We got our rotini and we got our elbow macaroni for our other 2 casseroles. So there you have it, friends. What a wonderful day to prep a relaxing afternoon. You all have a wonderful day, friends. I'll see you in the next video when we make all these beautiful casseroles. I will put the recipes for the rice and, you know, to use the Instant Pot in the description box, as well as the bread recipe. You all have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video, friends. And as always, thanks for watching.